Hey guys, my name is Alejandro Cabral. I am the global leader for social selling and sales effectiveness at Kimberly Clark Professional. And I have been using Sales Navigator for the past, I guess, 4 or 5 years. And it's been quite a journey, and I've used it in different stances. Right now, in my current role, I am responsible for delivering a global program that includes Sales Navigator as well as other tools that are going to help, or we hope are going to help our reps, um, get more modern in terms of how they get to customers and how they engage them. And we have high hopes for Sales Navigator tool that allows us to at least enhance our prospecting place. So now that I've said that, I just wanted to share what's my experience with Sales Navigator per se. I've led teams that have created almost three-quarters of the total pipeline they needed for a certain period of time. So be that a quarter, half a year, or a full fiscal year, three-quarters of that pipeline through the usage of Sales Navigator alone. And that's sales reps, by the way, not marketing reps or business development reps or anyone just doing calls. This is reps with quotas that are supposed to just go and close deals. They were also responsible for creating part of the pipeline. And to me, there's nothing more important when you are following a certain leader than knowing that that person knows, so he knows whatever he's teaching you or whatever you're getting from that person. So I made it a point of really getting into Sales Navigator and understanding how the tool worked and how to get the best out of it. So I have been really involved with every major launch since I first started using it, and I've used it for my own business as well. So I just wanted to discuss on a couple of things based on the new features that were recently released. One of them is the sales alerts that you get, and the other one is the lead lists, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go straight to it. First thing first, you should always save leads when you use Sales Navigator, right? Otherwise, you would just go and search for LinkedIn. But the fact is that if you save leads, you do a number of things. The first one is that you activate Sales Navigator. The minute you start saving leads, you tell Sales Navigator that you are interested in those people and that it should go and monitor them and feed you with stuff that can provide you with talking points. So when you engage with them, you know what you're going to be talking about, right? The first step for everything and anything you do on Sales Navigator, right after you set your sales preferences, which is basically the basic filters that you want Sales Navigator to use for some operations. Then the first step after that is you go and find your accounts and save your leads. Then once you get those leads, you need to find a way to make it really practical to just find them again or just go and look at them and see what they did and then decide on what action you're going to take. Now, before the new feature lead lists came out, there were a couple of ways of doing that. One was by just saving leads into each account you were working on, which is a great approach if you are an account manager that just follows on named accounts. But then, if you are a territory manager, or anyone with a broader territory, that's kind of a problem because you would get, let's say that the decision-making person on your customer is just one, and you're a territory manager, and then you have 100 accounts, you will have 100 leads in 100 accounts. So you couldn't group them doing that. Instead, what you would do was just save a lead under the account that you were going to follow on, and then you would add a tag with the name of the account or the name of the buyer persona or something that made it easy for you to just find them again when you were going to look for them. Now with the lead list feature, what you do is that regardless of which account you save those leads into or what tags you add to them, you just create a list and then put all those leads down there. So here's how it works. Let's say that I am selling software um, to I don't know to companies that have a data center, right? So that means there's a number of accounts I can go after, and I'm a territory manager. So let's say I'm just going after SMB accounts in a specific industry in a specific region. I could, first step would be I run a search for companies on SMB. So I would say above 50 employees and up to, I don't know, 200 or 500. That's two things I would match up. So size of the company, maybe industry, and then maybe location. Maybe just want to search for those in one state or a couple. And then I would maybe save that search just to have a start point. And then I know I'm looking for the I don't know, operations manager or the IT manager of that company. So I add that, I save the search again. I get a few hundred or a few thousand, or probably a few thousand results. And then I need to start, cherry picking. Maybe I just want to get IT managers that have joined the company in the past, I don't know, 90 days. So maybe I just go and look for people that have been in the job for less than a year, which is kind of accurate. That's okay. And I start finding them. So I go all the way from 100 million people in LinkedIn to a few thousand or 100,000 to maybe a few thousand or maybe a few hundred, and then I start doing that cherry picking thing. So instead of just saving the lead into an account and adding a tag and then searching for that tag, I just go and find the contact, save the lead under one lead list, which becomes a bucket, and I name that list. That could be SMB IT managers, right? And I just save that list. Now, the second step after I do that is save as many leads that I believe fit in that category, that list, into that list, which is awesome. And then what I do is just I go into the lead list panel, I guess, and you look at how many leads you have in that list. So when you do that, you get a couple of things as a plus. One, you get to add a few notes to the list you just created, and then if you go into the list, you know what happens? You get the same screen that you would get when you run a search on Sales Navigator. You have a left bar with all the filters, and then on the right hand of the screen, you have the results you get from that search and then a highlights bar. Well, when you save a list and you go into the list, if you have enough leads, you will get a highlights bar that's going to tell you this many out of all of these change job in the past 30 days, which is awesome. This many just post content, and that's my go-to usually. People that posted content on LinkedIn in the past 30 days, I usually start with those. So you get the list, which is kind of a really small and compact view of the leads you saved under specific criteria, and you get a highlights bar. Now, what that did for me and what that's doing for reps I'm training right now is it's shortening the time. It's making it faster and easier to just find the right people, save them, and start getting some we're just I'm sorry, that was my outlook, by the way. We're just we're just putting them all in just one bucket instead of multiple buckets with multiple tags. And I can still use tags, only instead of putting the tag the name of our campaign, I can maybe just put the name of the I'm sorry, and maybe put the name of the buyer person I'm talking to. Easy as that, right? So that's the first feature. The second one would be the sales search, which is an awesome and really quick way to just get a few important things about your leads. Now, here's the caveat. You need to save a lot of leads to get alerts to work for you. So all I'm going to say about that is if you need leads to actually, I'm sorry, if you need the alerts because you have a lot of leads, then maybe first you need to just clean those leads up and make sure you get the right amount. And if you don't have enough leads, the alerts are not going to work very well for you. Now, if you do have the proper amount of leads and you start getting alerts, this is what you're going to get. These guys change the job, so you can just filter by them quickly. But this is an important one, right out of every single lead you save, out of all the lists you create, out of all the accounts you get, if you just click on sales alert, you're going to get the ones that recently changed jobs, stuff that's relevant to start conversation points like that by just clicking one button, and that's the sales alert button. So that being said, what I expect out of all of these features is that it shortens the time that it takes our reps to find the proper context to go after. That's one. The second one would be that it accelerates the time that we spend creating and building pipeline. That's important for us. And the third one is that it impacts in the revenue that our reps are bringing and sourcing themselves at this company. I hope that was useful. Please feel free to reach out for me if you have any questions at all. Thank you.